Hey everyone, this is the Post-Hardcore and More podcast. Today we have a very cool episode. We get to talk to the very cool Martin Bianchini from Secret Band. And yeah. What's up, man?
Not much. Just chilling at home. Did some home stuff, and now I get to cool down and relax and drink some Costco, um, Kirkland wine. Very tasty.
Nice.
Oh, sangria. My bad.
Oh,
Sangria.
okay. Yeah, very important distinction.
Yeah, I'm good, man. How about you?
Pretty good. You know,
Good.
just vibing, as they say.
I hear you.
How's quarantine been going for you?
It's fine. I guess it's not much has changed for me, but it does get a little boring sometimes not being able to do much.
I hear you. Yeah.
But yeah.
So I kind of want to go from like what I know at the beginning, and then just go through like from 2009 to current day. I guess is my timeline. I kind of got. So, were you a part of the band Bears Doing Human Things?
I was, yeah.
Okay, and then that became the Antioxynopsis.
Yeah, the Antioch Synopsis, yeah. That I had joined them when they were still Bears, and then I had quit. And then I'm trying to remember, it's been a while now, but I had quit, and then they asked me to come back to help with some stuff, and I did, and then I just stuck around. I never left, and then somewhere in between there, the styles were changing because I was actually like writing with them,
Yeah.
and so what I wrote was different, and just it was more like technical and heavy, and so since the sound was changing, our vocalist decided he was thinking of changing the name anyways, but that kind of helped push it to change it to the Antioch Synopsis.
Gotcha. Okay. Were you doing any bands before Bears Doing Human Things?
Yeah, the one before that was called Burn Hill Scar, and that was more of like metal, or I guess metal core, I suppose. And then before that, what was it? Before that was a band called Left Apart with some friends, and that's how I knew Matt.
Okay.
That's how we met Matt.
Cool.
And then before that was, God, what the hell is a dumb name?
Is this like getting into high school years?
This is right out of high school.
Okay.
This is when because this was the band that I met Will in.
Okay.
We all kind of found each other on like these music classified ads, and that's how I met up with Will. God, I can't even remember the name now.
Was it a Farewell Unknown, or was that a different band?
No, this was pre Farewell Unknown.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Out of this, I think I still stayed in contact with him, and he jumped into that band, or that group of guys, and that's where that started.
Gotcha. So have you been playing music or playing guitar since before high school?
Just well, yeah, kind of. I think I took classical guitar lessons for maybe less than a year, like in second grade or something like that, and then I was bummed out because I wanted to play guitar, but electric guitar. But my mom got me a classical guitar instead, so that's okay. And then I didn't play for a while, and then I think it was like the 8th grade when, after every Christmas and birthday begging for a guitar, I finally got to go get one, and I think it was 8th grade, and then it's just ever since then, really.
All right. I gotcha.
So 20 plus years, I think. I don't know.
I gotta tell you, usually when I do my research, it's for a vocalist. They do not document the instrumentalists nearly as much. The best I could find was the Bears doing human things. For you, I didn't find anything about those other bands.
Yeah, there's really not much to find. That was, the cataloging of those bands isn't what it is today. So
yeah,
some of the stuff you might be able to find, but probably not.
Some old YouTube relics.
Yeah, I think there is something of. I think the Left Apart band with Matt. There's a couple like live show things that you can scour YouTube for. The band before that with Will, I don't think there's anything.
I just like really dig like histories of bands and artists and stuff, so I always like to look up what people have been in, kind of follow.
Oh yeah, I do. I like to do the same thing. I don't know why. I don't know why it interests me, but I do. I'll know random things and about bands, and nobody else cares. Even I don't really care yet. I went out and found it out.
Yeah. Are you working on any other projects besides Secret Band at the moment?
Yeah. So the vocalist that was in the Antioch Synopsis, I'm doing something with him. And then the bass player from the Burn Hill Scar band, he's a part of it as well. And then a friend of ours who plays drums, he's done a lot of cool stuff. They all have, actually. Yeah. They've all been a part of other pretty cool projects or artists and whatnot. So the drummer. So we're doing stuff right now. It's kind of like a technical, closer to what I did in the Antioch Synopsis. Okay. Stuff like that.
Yeah. More deathcore, I guess you'd call it.
I suppose, like technical deathcore, whatever, multitude of subgenreing there is. So yeah, but it's stuff like that. So it's kind of fun to get to stretch that muscle again. Yeah.
Is music like your full-time career?
No, not even close.
Okay.
No, I'm just another full-time dude who gets to play music still. And
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm probably lucky at the moment considering how things are going. So, but I mean, it'd be cool, I guess, but I still get to do what I get to do, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, that's awesome. So I kind of want to get into the Secret Band history. Yeah, I know that. So you weren't a part of the EP, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and then you were brought on to help with Carbon Copy, and then Will just asked you to like kind of join the band full time.
Yeah. I think they had like a few songs. Mm-hmm. Which were going to be the first LP. Mm-hmm. And Will wanted to have something a bit more heavier and crazier. So he hit me up to do it. And so we worked on it at his house. And it was actually slower than what's recorded, which was a pain in the ass because there's a kind of like a solo-y lead thing that I do on there. Yeah. That was a bitch to do in the studio because the song was quite a bit faster. But yeah, so he called me to do that and we did that. And I think it was just supposed to be that. And then at somewhere around that time, that's when they were doing, I think it was Instant Grad. Which one is the one? What's the first Tillian?
It's Acceptance Speech.
Okay, so it's that one. So I think that was happening. All of it was kind of around the same time. And so Will asked me if I wanted to work on another Secret Band song, but that ended up being whatever song I did on Acceptance Speech. It just didn't fit the sound of Secret Band. So, and then after that, I think it just Will asked, like, "Hey, do you want to be a part and just be a part of Secret Band?" I said, "Sure."
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. And at that point, it was kind of a funny time too, because I was kind of like, I don't even know if I want to keep pursuing music as I was trying to, and just kind of burn out. And at that point, like, all of a sudden, all these other things just started to kind of come in. And so it was a little interesting time for myself.
Well, that's good. Stuff like that works out sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the writing process for Self-Titled like? Like, you said they had a few songs done. Do you know how many, like, you helped on from the start and how many you helped on after?
Let's see. Yeah, because I'm not completely on that one. Zach's on there. What else? I think I'm on at least half the songs. They might have had a few others that just never made it onto the album, for one reason or another. I don't remember, but
yeah,
we just came in and started writing, and yeah, that was it. I wasn't totally sure what they wanted to do, but I just kind of, that's why I think that one, I mean, the EP and the LP are pretty close in style.
I'd say so.
Some songs are heavier. I mean, really anything that doesn't sound like DGD is something that I was on.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Zach did the Bibli. I think that's the one that he's on.
Yeah, that makes sense to me based on what it sounds like.
Right. And so I write and play the way I do, and I imagine that's why they asked me to be a part of it, to kind of do something like that. So I just kind of came in and wanted to test the waters to see what I can get away with playing with them, which is always the fun thing to do. Even with DGD stuff, it's just always like, let's see what I can get. Let's see what they don't say no to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily, they don't really say no to anything, so it works out.
I was wondering, like, what is it like featuring on a Dance Gavin Dance song, and, like, who do you work with the most when you write? Is it Will?
No. It was different for me when I was switching from the way I wrote for the Antioch, which was sitting in front of a computer and writing and programming almost everything except for the vocals, and a little bit of jamming and stuff, but really it was just sitting in front of my laptop, working on music. When I started doing the DGD and Secret Band stuff, it was more, jamming and playing together. But I think for the most part, any song that, because it's kind of half and half, what it was they would have a song with just Will on guitar, and they didn't have the second guitar side at all. And so they would ask, like, hey, you want to write the second guitar parts for this song? And so I would do that, and they would already have it kind of like pre-production, kind of just record, like live recordings of it and whatnot. And then I would take that and then just write to it and send it to them and see what they had to say. But then any song that I wrote that I brought to the band, usually I think at least most of the time, it was just me and Matt, just jamming them out and working on them together. And then we would just do rough recordings and send them to the guys, and then everyone else would kind of do their part on their own. And, you know, you wouldn't really hear how it sounded until it was, you know, you were actually recording it in the studio.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. What's your favorite song to play from Self-Titled, and what's your just favorite song to listen to from that album?
Which Self-Titled? Like nothing has a name. So.
Sorry, LP1.
Okay. What did I like? Projectile Comet was always a fun one. I feel like that one was kind of, for me, that was the one, like all the writing that we had done together, that was the one that, like, you know, was kind of everything that I was trying to get towards, you know what I mean? Like that was, so that one was always cool. You know, it's all over the place and it's heavy, it's weird, and it goes up and down. So that one was always fun.
Of all the songs on LP1, Projectile Comet does definitely feel like a precursor to LP2.
Yeah, and I've seen people say that, and it's, you know, that's, I guess that's a good way of putting it. That's kind of like where my mind was going into the next one. Honeyboo's fun just because it's ridiculous, and what else? Oh God, what's the first song? I can't even remember the names now.
Meat Fetish.
Meat Fetish, yeah. I think those three are probably my favorite.
Yeah, those are great songs. That whole album's really, really super fun to listen to.
Yeah, it turned out really cool. I was pretty happy with that one overall.
I got into DGD a little late compared to a lot of people, I guess, like acceptance speech era, a little after. And then after I had like exhausted the whole catalog, I found Secret Band, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said that before too. Just they kind of hopped on, they kind of took notice during when Tillian came in, and then saw, you know, everything that, you know, that just exploded from the core of Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah. And I just want to say, we're about to get into some LP2 questions, so we're probably going to stray away from DGD for the rest of the show.
Thank God, dude. Thank God.
I just want to say Man of the Year. Definitely my favorite Dance Gavin Dance song of all time.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, when Matt and I were working on that one, and that was one of the ones that I brought to the group, and Matt and I, you know, worked on it and fleshed it out and whatever. And it was like super, like, I think we were both really happy with it. And then I don't remember if Tim had done any bass tracking to it. He may have, but I just, you know, Will had sent me what he had done, you know, over the track, and it was just like, holy shit, this song is like, it just turned out even better than just Matt and I's version. And then yeah, it seemed to be a favorite of people's, which is kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, like definitely a worthy closer to that album. Yeah. So LP1 released in 2014, and then just last year LP2 released in 2019. That's 5 years almost. It's kind of a large gap. Why was that?
It was done. Fuck, it was. I want to say that maybe. Let's see. It was done before we went in to record it, obviously, but I mean, like, I think we had the drums tracked for at least a year.
Yeah.
And there's just, things that, some speed bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I want to say we probably finished writing 2016 or 17.
Wow.
And the drums, we finally were able to book time for the drums. And we did that. And we just, for one reason or another, things got in the way. And then, plus their touring schedule was so fucking crazy. So, Jordan and I were just, there was just nothing you could do. It is what it is. So, but even when there was like downtime, there was just, for one reason or another, things got in the way, and schedules were, weird. So, but I think we were also trying to figure out how we were going to record it. Because we did it differently than when we did the first full length. That was all done at a Shark Bite in Oakland. But this time around, we kind of did it all over the place. The drums were recorded at another studio. Guitars and bass were recorded with Tim in his studio. Vocals were done. I don't remember where the vocals were done, but somewhere else. So it's just, it was just tracked in 3 different places. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, around what time did you guys complete the album? Record everything, I mean.
Yeah, finished tracking. Because it came out 4/20, isn't that the thing with that one?
April last year.
Yeah, so it was either late 2018 or early 2019 when it was finished tracking.
Okay.
The mixing and mastering didn't take too long, so that was probably the quickest part of the whole ordeal. But it was either early 2019 or somewhere on the tail end of 2018.
Okay, that's really interesting. So you guys switched from Blue Swan to Rise Records between them. Oh.
Hey, that's my dog.
Okay. Hello. I'm glad you're a part of the podcast.
He's a little. All right, there we go. The whole label switching, he's really sensitive about that.
Oh, okay.
He was Blue Swan till he dies, he said. So.
Okay.
He told me we sold out when we went to Rise, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, what was your question?
I was just wondering why you guys switched. Any logistical reasons, or would it just be easier to release LP2 that way?
It might have been on the minds of Matt and John and Will. It was just something that kind of came up, hey, what if we can? I think Matt brought it up, and it was just hey, what if we release this through Rise? I don't even know if it was I don't know how any of this business stuff works. So
yeah,
but it might have been hey, what if we just have them just do the distribution of it, kind of a thing, and not necessarily be assigned artists to them. I don't know, but it just kind of it seemed like a cool and fairly simple move to do, and there wasn't a whole lot of discussion. It just kind of seemed like it was a simple thing to do, and kind of a why not, really. Okay. From my point of view, at least.
Yeah. Okay, most people were just oh, that's weird. It's secret band, so there's not a lot of.
It's weird for me too. Because it's we haven't toured. We haven't done anything really. So to kind of sign on, it's all right. But I mean, do they know that how it's going to be? And I mean, everything was cool. Everyone's cool that that I've talked to, and it was just simple. It wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah. Uh,
And I mean, I'm sure if it was, Will would have said something, and everyone was cool with it. So
yeah, I figured it was, Dance Gavin Dance, one of Rise's biggest bands. I'm sure Will could put any number of bands he wants on the Rise records.
yeah. So yeah, it just happened to work out that way. I think it wasn't even a plan. I mean, maybe it was a plan for them, at some point, but it just kind of popped up as an option, and it was a good. There wasn't any loss, So
Yeah.
So it was kind of a cool, good decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious. I don't think if anyone's like gotten an answer on that before.
Yeah, we like to keep, the name secret bands. We just like to keep everything just in the shadows.
Yeah. So I was wondering why the choice, not that I'm complaining, why the choice to do a double single with Rabbit Hole and Lightning before you release the album.
So I don't even know what happened there. It's I think I think it was Rise, they chose to release 2 songs. And that was it. I mean, I think they might have talked to like the guys and like, hey, let's release these 2 songs and not tell anybody about it, kind of a thing. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why they chose those songs. Not that I, disagree with it. It's just like, oh, hey, we're gonna release these 2 and not tell anybody and tell anyone who it is or anything. And I mean, I love that shit. So
yeah, I thought it was like I had all but given up on Secret Band, like doing another record because Will.
As you should. As you should.
And then it dropped, and I was like, "Oh my God! God heard my my prayers finally."
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sucks too because for me, it's like when you try to tease things and put a picture of Matt in the studio.
Yeah.
I have this idea of like, okay, cool. There's momentum, and then all of a sudden, there's a big turd speed bump, and then everything stops.
Yeah.
and then they got to go on tour. For however long, and then come back. And so it always sucked to kind of like, so I think I probably stopped posting shit like, it's just getting a little too, teasy with this shit. And that's not the intention as much as it was. So,
yeah.
But as far as those 2 songs, I don't know why, but I think I think some people wanted to have fun with the release of this project, and they saw kind of like an opportunity to kind of play around with people and whatnot. And I love that shit. I love I don't know. I think it's cool. It works for the band and as it is. And
yeah.
But yeah, I thought those were some cool songs to release.
Yeah, I thought the release was brilliant. Those 2 songs especially were definitely encapsulated the sound of LP2 to me. So
yeah.
Yeah, I just remember getting that notification on my phone from Rise Records. Oh, Secret Band. What?
Oh yeah. It was funny seeing people when I think when they started to put up it was the pre-sale stuff, and they didn't like say who it was or anything.
Yeah.
I think some people had an idea when they just released little chunks of like the cover and whatnot.
Yeah,
but I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading like comments and stuff, and they had like in the pre-sale description, the code or whatever it was had an SB LP1 or LP2 or something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were like, oh, they deciphered it or whatever. Even I didn't even know. I was like, I don't know. I thought like it could be anybody. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, the Merch Now link was like LP and then TOO, and then
something weird. Yeah,
I think the artwork might have came out before any songs, and you can definitely tell it's a John Mess piece.
Yeah, if you knew the kind of stuff that John would paint, I think it was a good, give you a good idea of what it could possibly be.
Yeah. I was wondering, I don't know if you know this, but like, do you know the meaning of the cover art, if there is any, or if it's just like a funny rat?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's just something that John did. He did the last one, and so
Yeah.
We were like, "You have any ideas?" And I don't even know if he had that painted. Like if it was just something he had, and I don't know. He just pulled it up, and right away I was like, "Fucking yeah, that's it. That's cool."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a bear, a mouse, a rat. I don't know if that's cheese or like a smoker's tongue. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool. Like I really love how that picture looks. So that painting.
Yeah.
So
It's just like for the LP one, that's a perfect picture for the album.
yeah.
So yeah, I asked a similar question for LP one. What's your favorite songs off LP two?
You know, I don't know, man. I really like them all. That's a stupid answer. So
That's not stupid. I mean, you worked on all of them. They're your babies.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I want to. I'll give you. I'll just make one up.
okay.
Oh God, sometimes it's hard for me to remember all the song names.
Yeah.
Because they were like drastically different than what they are now. But I think one of them was I think it's Do It Again. I think I like that one.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And then Moon was cool. Moon turned out super sick.
Yeah. I really love the end of Moon.
I think Matt came up with that pattern. I think it might have been between like Matt and Jordan, and then it took my ass multiple tries to just. And it's not hard, but I was just having the hardest time getting it down.
Yeah.
But I think it was just something Matt was messing around with while we were writing that, and it was like, that's going to work. So, yeah. But really, I just, I really like all the songs for what they are. But the standouts would probably be those two.
Yeah, those are Moon. Once again, a spectacular closer to an album.
Yeah, it worked out. It once we wrote it, it was like, oh yeah, no, that's the ending song for sure.
Yeah. I don't think any other song on the album could have matched its power for an ending.
Yeah, it just has that that ending quality to it.
Yeah. So is touring in the cards for Secret Band at all?
It's hard to say, especially for right now, no.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
We're on Mother Earth's schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. I was meaning more after the awful pandemic. The end times.
Gaia does not want anyone to play right now, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cool, I think it can be a bit taxing for the guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially, touring as much as they do, and they're only getting bigger, so their downtime is not what it used to be. So
yeah,
but maybe at some point, maybe some, I don't know about crazy long tours or anything like that, but hopefully, somewhere in the near future, we could kind of venture out of California at some point and play to other people.
Has Secret Band ever played Swan Fest? I probably should check myself.
No.
Is that a conscious choice or?
I don't know. No, I just think they might have already had that first lineup set, and then Did they have a second? Did they have a listed lineup for the second one?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
They did, but it got stopped by Corona.
When I think the problem is like when you're the sickest band ever and you don't want to just outshine everyone when you're the opening band. So
yeah, that makes sense.
That's probably Yeah, I don't know why.
Do you think there will be another long wait for a new release?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
That's just we've talked about like working on new stuff. It's it's on our minds, so but I haven't necessarily worked on anything. There's something going on outside. Yeah, it's hard for me to work on like multiple things because I try to just concentrate on something and put all my thinking power into one thing. Yeah. I try to at least. But it's on our minds, so.
Okay. That's good to hear. Listening to the end of LP2, as incredible as it was, I was a little worried it was almost a coda for the band. Like, after such a long wait time, I was like, nobody knows what's going on with Secret Band. Like, are they okay?
Yeah, it's just kind of a schedule thing, and a timing thing. It's, if it was more of like a touring thing, then it probably would be a little more on the schedule. Oh, someone's mad out there.
Oh no.
So, and I think we all probably have like ideas brewing right now, so.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But nothing yet, yeah.
Okay. A little hypothetical. If Secret Band could tour with anyone, what would your ideal lineup be?
Oh God. Who would be cool? You can't go too far out. I mean, I guess you could, but...
Yeah, it's your ideal lineup. Anything you want.
Good God. Glassjaw would be cool.
Yeah. Classic.
Who else would be cool? Who else? The number 12 Looks Like You would be pretty cool. If Dillinger was still together, that'd be cool.
That would fit a lot, I think. I've just discovered, like, I think it's called mathcore, but I just call it Dillinger core. That type of music.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like Secret Band. This is the type of music I'm looking for.
It's just way better.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to do that.
And I just got a couple listener questions for you, and then we can wrap things up. So Daisy Chamberlain from I Met a Yeti asks, when John Mess came to the band with the lyrics, I'm smoking your pee-pee and drinking all your poo-poo-poo, how the fuck did you get through that? How the fuck did that get through?
Sometimes when not to get in the way of things and you just let it happen. There's no sense in being like, hey, what if instead, you know what I mean? Like, it's just... I don't know. It's just, honestly, all the lyrics, all the vocals and all that stuff was, he might, I think he did share us the lyrics, but if you can imagine just reading like John's lyrics without any like music to chant it along to, it just seems like, oh man,
these are words.
Insane. Yeah. So, but when you hear it like in context with the songs, it's like, that's ridiculous, but it sounds cool. So
it fits surprisingly well.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty heavy section, serious, I'd say, that he and puts that line into. And it fits.
It tonally and whatnot, it works. So I never really listen to or follow along with lyrics too much. I've never really like paid too much attention to what somebody's saying.
Yeah.
But how they're saying it, their phrasing and notes and or whatever it is they're doing. That's always what I've listened for. So
most of my instrumentalist friends are like that. They're like,
oh, okay,
they're like, what lyrics? There's lyrics.
Yeah, and then like a vocalist will, like my buddy Monty, who's the vocalist for this other project. In the past he would show me something. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "That's cool, I guess."
Yeah.
But how is it gonna sound when you say that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
My usual co-host Casey asked, "Who is the best cook in Secret Band?"
The best cook. Well, let's see. I don't think Will does much cooking, but when he eats with his hands. He's like,
what does that mean?
Like everything's finger food to
Okay.
Will. Like I like to watch him eat because he just kind of like, I mean, maybe, but like everything, it's just like I don't know. I just get lost in how he eats. I don't know if he cooks too much. John, God, I don't know. I don't even know what John would eat. I'm gonna say Matt, I think, can barbecue pretty well. Jordan, I think Jordan can maybe cook. Now, I'm leaving myself for last because I went to culinary school and it's probably not fair.
Well, there's a clear answer. I guess
so I'll let whoever hears that, you can decide for yourself.
Okay. And then finally, Kenneth asks, "What's your favorite color and what is your biggest musical inspiration?"
Green. I've always liked green.
Nice.
And different versions of it. And my biggest musical, whatever that word was,
inspiration.
I don't know. I think it's kind of tough because, like what made me want to play guitar was watching a country. My mom was watching a country music video, and I saw some guy playing a guitar, and I said, "Hey, I want one of those." But later on, it was like getting into Green Day and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the new metal wave was fun times.
Jamming out the Limp Bizkit.
Hell yeah, dude. West Portland all day.
Chances of Fred Durst being on LP3.
Yeah, we're trying, dude. We are trying. But I mean, I guess without like naming a band, I think it was always just kind of like I always wanted to like try to write something that would make you feel a certain way because I liked music that would make me feel something, and that's why I like certain bands that are very polar opposite, but they just do something for me. So I always wanted to like, I think a good example of that would be like the Deftones for me.
Yeah.
They always just, I don't know, made me feel a certain way. And I couldn't explain it. And when I would start to write music, I just remember thinking like, that's what I want to do with whatever style I was writing. So
awesome.
Hopefully that's the right answer.
What's funny is Kenneth is a friend of mine who has never heard Secret Band before, so I'm not sure he'll even understand. But it was a good question.
Should be friends. I don't think you guys should be friends anymore.
That's a good argument, and I think I'll bring it up to him.
It's worth chatting about.
Yeah. I've gotten to listen to DGD. Just gotta get him into that Secret Band.
That's okay. We're one of those bands that you just.
It's a gateway drug. DGD's a gateway drug, and then Secret Band's crack. Just
pretty much, yeah. You either don't like it or you die from it. So.
Well, that's everything I have for you. Did you want to plug anything?
I mean, I wish there was more to plug. I mean, there's the new project that we're working on, that I'm working on with my friends Monty, Gabe, and Q. The running name is Blood Meridian. So
okay, metal.
It's from some weird ass book that he read. So if anyone's interested in reading, I'm not, but if you are, go read Blood Meridian. I think we're looking to record sometime early next year, maybe like January or February. So
will you be posting like updates for that on your Twitter?
Yeah, once there's some like I've put up like little things, but nothing that gives away really much. But once we make some more headway with that, definitely going to be putting some stuff up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then hopefully, something with Secret Band. So we'll see.
Yeah, sure. I'm crossing my fingers. I think I'll have to give up for you guys to drop a new. I just have to stop hoping for one, and that's how it works.
Yeah, just stop caring, and then that's when we'll release something. That's the secret to us.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me do it. It's cool.
No problem, man. Well, that's the podcast. We have a Ko-fi if you want to donate. And
donate.
Yes, please. Sponsored by Martin Bianchini.
You heard it. Donate. Give.
Okay. See you later.